So again, hi everybody, and welcome to our webinar, which is going to be all about affiliates today and how to improve your ROI from this channel with smart data analysis. I'm Pavel, I'm CEO at Roivenue, which of course is a marketing, data integration, and data-driven attribution provider. And I'm joined today by Lukas, Prikryl, who is the head of digital at Asistance for the CEE region. Hi, Lukas.
Hello.
Hi. And the reason we're here today is because recently prepared a case study that was so I would say thrilling that I thought it would be a shame not to share it on the webinar and talk a little bit more in detail about it as well. So the thing is here that Lukas worked very hard for the past year or two to optimize the performance of the affiliate channel, and with our humble little support, I would say the very last mile of his efforts, was able to achieve an incredible 180% improvement in the ROI from the affiliate channel. So today we're gonna tell you both how he did it and probably more importantly how you can do the same. The good news is that for the most part, I would say probably maybe half of that 180% improvement you will do without any fancy software. You will be just fine with your standard Google Analytics and your affiliate dashboards. So that will be the tools that would be sufficient. A little disclaimer at the beginning: Asistance, of course, is our client, meaning that they are using our data integration and data attribution services. And now, before we start, I would just like to ask anybody from the audience if you could type in, you can hear us properly, so that we can jump right into the live link. Anybody? Great, thank you, Maria. Thank you very much, Martina. You too. Okay. Okay, so I would probably want to start here with a little backstory, how AXA even got there. So you started with affiliate about 2 years ago. How did that come to be? Why did you even start to work with that channel?
Yes, our story goes back around 2 years, or now almost more than 2 years ago, and we were looking for another channels to grow. Of course, we've been doing PPC, emailing, and all digital marketing stuff as normal, and we need new ways to grow. And that's was natural way for us to look at the affiliate. And also we have confirmed demand from the market, because different web owners and pages approaching us directly and saying, hey, can you something for us? We will place your ads. Can you give us some commission, etc. But to deal with each of them individually is quite time demanding. You need at least 10 emails to make one deal. Right. So we need to look for some, and it's worth it to do only big ones. And so we knew that there's a lot of small ones which wouldn't be worth it to deal one by one, but still some unused potential. And that's why we decided, let's go have an affiliate.
Okay, so you decided to go and do affiliate with the use of a network, and don't build your own thing. Why did you decide to use the network?
One was that, of course, affiliate still is not main source of our business, so that's why I've been looking for some already solution which is market and which already has publishers and everything ready. And I think until, let's say, the whole commission which you're paying is still smaller than the total cost of building your own affiliate, it's worth it to use the existing one.
That makes sense. So you decided to go with the network, you set everything up, and then the first invoices started rolling in, I assume. When did you start to sense that there was something wrong, there was something rotten with some of the publishers within the network? And I know there were some very outrageous cases even, so I would even say fraudulent yes. Publishers. Can you give us a few examples of the bad guys on the scene and yes, what you encountered?
Well, we are an insurance company, and for affiliate program we've been offering or still offering a travel insurance product. So what I've been expecting and hoping for is a nice content and web pages which are around traveling, like traveling to New Zealand or applying visa in Canada, and this would be really great for us. The reality, discounts, coupon aggregates, and everything around it. I don't say that there are not that content pages, still there are, but the majority and focus was on discounts and etc. And as you mentioned, some fraudulent tactics, and what we find out, one of them is you have to be careful about if you have some other channels, that how they will interfere with other, because we are also having some B2B deals, and we find out that, for example, those web pages are picking offers we've been offering to other clients. And so they read emails or probably got some even print stuff. So we find out that there were some codes and links which were not meant for the affiliate. Of course.
So they were picking up people's mailboxes and
probably
the coupons and putting them online, right?
Yeah, something like that. Okay. And of course, you need to start work on with the discounts. For us, we've been used to it, so it was not a problem. But you have to be careful in your case how you can work with discounts and prices, because for these coupon aggregators, it would be pressure to have something like that. And when you mentioned some fraudulent tactics, I think the most radical was one day we found out that we have an app in a store which nobody knew about what is it. So we were checking App Store, in Google Play Store, and it was really mobile app ready with our brand logo and everything. And we just downloaded and find out that the whole content of the app is just one picture, basically one banner with the link, and it was one of the affiliate partners to build our own, his own app actually, but it was in our brand. So if somebody would download it, they would think that AXA is so bad in mobile marketing that they can do only, let's say, mobile app with one picture.
Yeah, so not only he would get the commission from those people, but also it looked just ridiculous.
Yeah, for this case, I recommend some brand monitoring and put some safety features on board, because you put this in place and you are not sure, or never can be sure what will happen with your brand logo and where it would be.
Right. So I guess these were some very obvious cases of the worst examples, but what you want to do really is separate the below average from above average publishers. So how did you start first? Analyze publishers are better than the other ones. And so I guess the question really is, which money do you count as an expense related to affiliates? Because I guess you can only look at the commission themselves, or can you? How did you?
I will explain. The money part is actually quite crucial, and for us the most crucial part is the income part, because basically what you have at every month, that the affiliate program would claim that they do 10,000 euro in sales, and you know that there is 15% commission, and therefore you pay 1,500 invoice to the affiliate, which in this is simple mathematics. And some people, or you might stop here and think, okay, 15% is fine, this is what I can afford, and that's great.
Right.
But
so I assume it's not as simple as that.
It's not simple as that, or we right away saw in our internal reports that out of the 10,000 euro, we cannot, let's say, achieve all these 10,000 to the affiliate only. It interacts with other channels, and some of the money, we saw that in our own last click model, they are in other channels, let's say in PPC, in emailing, or some organic. So that's when we cut this money, we basically get almost to the 70% cost ratio. So, and the income drop, the income which we can attribute from the 10,000 dropped to 2,150, and this changed the whole mathematics, because you still pay the 1,500 commission, but suddenly out of 2,100, it's totally different ratio.
Right. So the marketing investment ratio went way up to about 70%, which
I would say not went up. It's the true figure.
Yeah, it didn't go up, but the true figure is not 15%, but it is 70%, which I assume is even higher than is your margin. So it is ridiculous, and it is totally not sustainable, I would think.
Definitely this is above our target, so in some start it's something to do with it.
Okay, so I guess the next step then would be, what did you really do? how did you go about analyzing it, and what was your next step?
Well, first we start playing and using, let's say, the variables you can use and within the affiliate, which basically is the commission. So we can hire more, and what's also is the cookie window. How long will the cookie be counted as a valid? But in our case, it didn't appear that it's a very effective way, because we got on some improvement, but it's not. It was not enough. And also you need to stay competitive, because they are your competitors. They are also offering their conditions, their commission, so you cannot change it like totally out of the market. So this is one way, and that's which should bring us.
So I assume, just to make it clear, if you play with those variables, you can make the conditions better for you, worse for the publishers, but that ultimately also reduces your volume because the publisher.
Yeah, they reduces your volume, or they can reject you and go instead of to some company which offers better provision, commission, and for them.
Okay, gotcha. So that wasn't really the way for you.
Well, this was one of the way, but it was not enough. So we were using it. We see that there is some improvement, so that we knew that okay, this is it, but we need to do more. And what we started to do is to apply the logic which we have to by each partner individually. So we've been looking on each of the affiliate partner which we have, basically the publishers which been registered within our affiliate, and we apply the same logic to them. So we looked how much they bring in last click, how much is the total volume that they claim through the affiliate, and we find out the huge differences. There have been publishers which have around 80% in the last click, which is great for those content pages, and this is something you are happy to see. And there have been publishers which brings you 3% in the last click, and basically that 97% are somewhere else, and you pay them once more.
So you pay the commission to the affiliate.
Yeah, but still, publisher too, you pay commission from this 100%.
Right. So yeah, I guess that way you were able to differentiate and throw away the worst ones.
Yes, and that's where we start looking to these publishers, and we decided that we also need not only to play with those variables within the affiliate as a whole, but let's say look on them individually. Of course, you can eliminate some, let's say, obvious sinners. And in our case, it was, or within our affiliate, it was two cases. One was cashback programs, because at the end they effectively change your retail price. Depends on your business if it is problem for you or not. For some businesses might be okay. In our case, when you manage more channels, and you need to be sure what's the retail price within each channel, and it has to work together. And suddenly in one channel it's changing, let's say publisher by publisher, because they use some of the commission as a cashback.
Right.
So that's was one case, and the second case which we eliminated is browser extensions. I should probably mention them in the fraudulent part, because
consider them to be fraudulent.
Well, for me it's a little bit crazy, because those extensions, it's like if you imagine you have a retail store and your client enters, and somebody takes him out and brings him immediately back and says, okay, give me the commission because I bring him. Because the client is already on your page, and suddenly in his browser the small window starts to be blinking and saying, hey, click here. Basically you get redirected to the same page, but cookie applies and you pay the commission for the visit.
Right. So I even found out an example of how does such a browser extension look like. Okay, so I think at somewhere at this point, this is where we've met. So yes. You had the rudimentary analysis done. You threw away some of the sinners, most obvious worst cases, but also you threw away some of those publishers that didn't perform well on the last click metric. And that already improved your ROI quite a bit, I would say. But the problem really was that you didn't know the full customer journeys. So that's where we've met, and then we talk about how to improve it. Now, probably normally what we would do in such an instance would be that we would run the usual attribution model, but in this case it was a little challenging because we didn't have enough data for the granularity of every individual publisher. So we needed to come up with something else. So we chose to go with a sort of a proxy where we would still utilize the knowledge of the whole customer journeys. So maybe do you want to explain a little bit about the solution, what we came up with?
Yeah, first we needed to find a partner who gathers all the data from all the sources and connect them together and put them in one place.
Right. So which is luckily exactly what we do, right? Because with Roivenue, we are actually connecting not only to Google Analytics or your web analytics platform, but also to the marketing platforms where you spend your ad spend, including the affiliates and all others. So in that way, we know exactly for each customer or each visitor, which ads did he see along the way through the conversion, and so that we know which one of those are affiliates and which one of those are something else, and we actually even know how much you paid for every single click and an impression and banners and what have you. So we put together all those paths, and then what happened next?
Well, it helps us to, let's say, split more and look more in detail to the different publishers, and we divide them into, let's say, different groups. One would be affiliate in a, let's say, in a closing. So it's the situation when you have firstly you have some paid channels or like PC, and then you have affiliate as the last touch. So this indicates, number one, you pay more costs, and this also indicates some tactics like with the browse extensions, etc. So for us, this is the most happy case. Then we, let's say, can have which efforts, and then for us, because it means also you paid something to Google and maybe to some other parts, but at least indicates
you new customers.
It brings you some customers, not you have to be careful that it brings just the commission for the after, but for the others. And the best part would be, of course, when there is a pure affiliate customer journey, which means somebody who just like brings you customer. So this is the most, let's say, best customer journey for us.
Okay, maybe to clarify a little bit, I think what you're saying is not that this party billing you, this is the best way because of the structural conditions of how affiliate is running their invoicing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the solution at the end was to divide all the customer journeys into 3 buckets that we just went through, and then what will we do with that?
And basically, we just make some index which shows how they behave and what's the probability towards each journey which they have. And let's say if we claim that affiliate in a global is the worst case scenario, we calculated his tendency towards this journey, and basically you can index all the partners and rank them each one, and then you would have each affiliate partner and see how many of these journeys are in this row, how many of these journeys are in the second row, etc. And then you can just calculate some figures. So it can help easily compare each aid partner, and shows that we really need to focus on them individually, not only as a whole channel, as a one. Right.
So we basically ended up with some sort of dashboard. This page publishers per were mostly in the first bucket, which were in the combination of different
out and eliminate them, and therefore we also get a little bit down in volume, but also a lot in cost and in total. That is what we are talking about.
Okay, great. So what were the final results then?
The final results is that now we are back to 25% in marketing investment ratio, and this is when you see when we've been at the beginning and we started more than 70%. It brings you some in, so basically we are now reaching our targets.
So it was a long journey. It took you 2 years to do, but I guess it was worth it if you could improve the performance of the channel by 180% on ROI and reduce the costs of sales, basically from the real cost of sales,
yes,
from 70% to 25%, which is sustainable and it's much more reasonable. Okay, if we should recap here a little bit, so what, you know, give some takeaways to the audience. What would you say are the main steps or takeaways that you would recommend them to remember?
Well, it would be that you have to really look on the whole income and the whole costs and how you calculate them. That's number one, because if you believe that what you are paying as a cost for uphill are only the commission, which are only those 15%, then number one, you are dreaming, and number two, you don't need to do anything with that.
So don't trust the affiliate dashboard.
It's not about trust, it's about let's say that you need to apply logic. They are not lying to you, only you know that
not saying the whole
the whole story. Yeah,
right.
This is only one part of the story, and you would need to apply your own logic to uncover the whole part. Of course, recommendation would be don't play only with those variables which are typically you can adjust within the affiliate as a commission and the cookie window. Of course, it's important, but not the only thing you can influence. And then it would be work with the publishers, because in our case, we found out that the quality of the publishers within the program was hugely different. So you need to eliminate them one by one and find those, let's say, the worst ones. And then it depends, and it's up to you how you find them. It can be some obvious sinners, like we described, and it was how they break our rules or what we didn't like. The cashback and browser extensions might be something else in your situation. And then, of course, those who are not working as just last click, which you can find out easily in analytics on your internal reporting without any fancy tool. And if you want, you can go even deeper with these tools and like find it out based on the customer journey.
Okay, I think that was great. So exhaustive. Thank you very much. And I think we have enough time to give floor to Q&A. So you guys listening, if you have any questions, just type it in the messenger window, and we'll take as many questions as we can, because as I said, we still have pretty much a lot of time on our hands. Oh, okay. So MIR. There was a little asterisk at the bottom of each slide. Maybe I should have made it bigger. MIR is marketing investment ratio, and so that means what is the cost of sale for you. So how much do you invest in marketing channels, and how much revenue does that bring you? So really, it's a function of those two things. So as an example, if you invest $50 per all of your channels, all your marketing channels on advertising, and you get sales worth $100, then your MIR is 50%, basically. So in our example, Lukas and Oksana, they were able to get the MIR down from 70%, which is nonsense, quite frankly, to 25%, which is their target for this KPI. Okay, next question. Do all media budgets budgets went through Roivenue?
Well, basically the budgets are not going through. We going still through the affiliate, Google, Seznam, etc. The only thing you need to know, or through the Roivenue, is connect them to as much channels you have and download those data to get them as one. And currently, yeah, we have all major channels connected to Roivenue and put them together. So let's say from this, most of what we spend and most of the income we have, we can see and connect in Roivenue.
Okay, so maybe just to make it super clear, we connect to all media platforms and we know all the budgets, so we can visualize the costs of everything along the sales on the other hand. Next question is aggregated through channels, but I don't really understand what
connected with the MIR.
Oh, MIR.
It can depend. It can be as a MIR for the whole marketing. It can be for, let's say, channels like PPC and emailing, and you can go deeper and deeper to one publisher or even one ad, one keyword, anything.
Oh, okay. So it was about the level of aggregation. I got it. Yeah. So basically, you can start all the way up with main channels, but you can break it down if you're using Google Analytics. So then you can have any combination of source, medium, campaign, and even publisher in this case, and you can really break it down to the granularity that you want. I see there is a question for you, Lukas.
Yeah, I will just add to the MIR. So basically, to measure it, you can do it on really detailed level. You can just like need cost and income even for one click. But if you want to run some attribution on it, you need some volume, which we get. And this is like when we've been fighting, for example. So for the whole attribution, we put affiliate as a one channel, and then within the analysis, we split it more in details.
Yeah, that's exactly true. That's what we were talking about earlier. That if you have enough volume, if you have enough conversions from a certain channel, from the level of conversion that you want, then you can run the full-blown attribution analysis and calculations and what have you. If you don't, then you have to come up with some other creative solution, which was in this case putting them in 3 different buckets. Okay, so you have a question here. I'm going to read it to you from Maria. So Lukas, going through the whole experience with the knowledge you have now, would you do anything differently with your affiliate channel or sale? Would you, for instance, build your own affiliate in-house? And what is the minimum amount of data for when you to do the attribution analysis? So I think we answered the second part of the question. Maybe to put it very precisely, our suggestion is to have at least 30 conversions per time period of your analysis, which could be a week or a month. So at least 30 conversions per each channel for it to make sense, basically. And the first part of it, would you do anything differently?
Well, I would do it faster.
Okay.
And maybe skip right away to the last part and not going step by step and unveil the if already it is enough. No, it's not enough. Let's go one level deeper and to go another level deeper. So I would just jump right to it and get to those results faster. So but before you didn't know, so it's
it was a learning experience for you.
Yeah.
But I guess now for the audience, they don't have to go through all those hoops and steps, and maybe they can start with the best option available right away. And also, we didn't know each other before, so you probably didn't have the right tool to do to do the most perfect thing. Okay. Do we have any more questions here? Okay, we'll give you another 15 seconds.
Welcome, guys.
All right, if there are no more questions, then thanks everybody for being with us today, for watching. Of course, if you missed any part, we will post the video Okay, we have one question, so I'll just I'll just say my bit, and then we can go back to the questions. If you missed anything, this is going to be posted on our YouTube channel. Of course, we would be glad if you could give us a feedback on the whole thing and maybe ideas on what would you want to see next, what theme or topic we should pick for our next webinar that we're going to run in a month or two. And other than that, thank you very much. And then we have one last question for you to answer, Lukas, and then we can wrap it up, I believe.
Yeah, how difficult is setup checking for this analysis? Actually, it was very simple because in the Roivenue there was a connector for the FPL we had for the CJ. So we get this data quite easily. Of course, it meant that we have already Roivenue in place because our digital marketing activities and building attribution in advance. So Roivenue was not new for us, and we didn't implement it only because of this, but when we have it, it was very simple.
So it was a matter of days or weeks to do, right? Okay. Well, thanks again, everybody. Lukas, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and see you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye.